Legendary UCLA basketball coach John Wooden is quoted as saying, "Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are." Welcome to Season 4, Episode 6 of the Playing with a Purpose podcast, Integrity, Don't Cheat the Game. Welcome back to another episode of the Playing with a Purpose podcast, where we explore topics related to the moral development of collegiate athletes and young people as it relates to character, responsibility, and purpose. I'm your host, Matt Barker, and throughout Season 4 of the podcast, we're taking a deep dive into the 5 core values of the NAIA, which include integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, and servant leadership. Today, we're talking about something that doesn't show up on the scoreboard, but it shows up in every decision you make, both on and off the field. Let's take a closer look at integrity, part 2, in today's Character Corner segment. Integrity is defined as the quality of being honest and consistent in your actions. In other words, a person with integrity isn't one way in front of a crowd and another way behind the scenes. Their character is always steady and consistent. In today's world, a successful team or season is often defined by wins and losses, the best record, or the best ranking. However, true success within a program comes from something deeper than wins and losses. Sports history is filled with examples of talented teams and players that were overshadowed by compromised integrity. For example, the sign-stealing scandal involving the Houston Astros during the 2017 MLB season. This scandal didn't erase their championship from the record books, but it permanently changed how people talk about it. Here's what we have to keep in mind. Talent may win games, but integrity builds a legacy. If you have to cheat to win, you didn't really win. And that's today's Character Corner segment. Now let's look at a story where we've seen integrity played out on and off the field in today's Purpose at Play segment. For today's Purpose at Play segment, we're going back in the vault all the way to 2014 for a story about a track coach in Massachusetts whose team won a state championship. Or at least so they thought. Take a listen to this clip from CBS Boston News about Derek Herber.
On Sunday, the North Attleboro boys track team won the state title by 1 point. Or at least that's what they thought.
The North Attleboro track team has trained hard all year, and it paid off with this, the Division II Eastern Mass title. But then days later, their coach discovered an error in the scoring, meaning his team came in third.
Ultimately, the right thing needed to be done, and I think ultimately we needed to make sure that, the integrity of the sport and the integrity of, North Attleboro Athletics is to do the right thing.
Derek Herber is like any other coach. He wants to win. But with Herber, honesty and integrity mean more than a trophy, and his team knows it.
Just wouldn't have felt honorable winning, knowing you have the trophy, but your team actually didn't win.
What Coach Herber did was a great thing. How his actions affect the community as a whole it's huge.
As we see from this clip, the error was not the fault of Herber's team. It was simply a clerical error that put his team in first and another team outside the top spot. It would have been easy for Herbert to overlook the mistake, chalk it up to the officials not getting it right, or convincing himself that his team earned the victory through their hard work. However, Herbert knew that teaching his team a valuable lesson was more important than a state title. In a moment when many would have protected a win or stayed silent, Herbert chose honesty and fairness instead. His decision reminded his athletes that losing with integrity is better than winning without it. And that's today's Purpose at Play segment. And now let's get to the Beyond the Buzzer challenge for today's episode. This week, I want to challenge you to demonstrate integrity in every aspect of your life, not just on the playing field, but also in the classroom, with your friends, with your family, and anyone you may have influence over. Ask yourself one simple question. If no one else ever knew what I did, would I still be proud of it? Because long after the game is over, long after the crowd leaves, long after the season ends, your character remains. And that's today's Beyond the Buzzer challenge. Thanks for joining me today on the Playing with a Purpose podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, follow, and share with a friend, colleague, athlete, or coach you think might benefit from the content discussed on this podcast. You can listen to the Playing with a Purpose podcast each week on Spotify or anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also catch the Playing with a Purpose podcast on the Freed Hardeman Athletics Champions of Character website at gofhulions.com/champions of character, on the NAIA Champions of Character website at naia.org/champions of character, and on the Ministry League Podcast Network. Till next time, remember, winning isn't just about the scoreboard, it's about the character you build along the way. We'll see you next time on the Playing with a Purpose podcast.